Hey everyone, this is definitely not a video that I normally make, and it's a bit terrifying. I'm going to give myself 12 minutes and 20 seconds to be as honest and raw with you guys about everything that's going on in my filmmaking career. Today is March 31st, 2025, and I'm feeling a bit overwhelmed. Overwhelmed in a good way and also overwhelmed in a sort of crippling way, not to be over dramatic, but a concept that I struggle with a lot is biting off more than I can chew and knowing when to say yes, knowing when to say no, knowing when you need to be growing. And every year since I've moved here, I've set a new standard for myself. And I think that's sort of how, personal development works. At least that's how I see it, My goal here when I moved was just to make enough to get by. And then the next year was, well, how can I capitalize on everything that I've learned in that first year and to exit or use my resources to build something of my own. And then on the third year, it's, well, maybe how can we build a team and have some infrastructure, get a physical space like this to really start building out this vision that I've had since I was a kid. And I just want to share with you a non-curated update because the things that I put out online, I try to be as authentic and as real as possible, but at the end of the day, I'm running a 2-camera setup and I'm cutting out all the bullshit that I'm talking about, putting music behind it, and trying to leave you with a feeling of being, whether it's inspired or empowered, or just feel like you're talking to a friend, somewhat relatable. And so me sitting here right now, running you through my Monday at 11:30 is way more real. This is the reality. It's not all jump cuts and slow-mo runs and really, really inspiring music scores. I really have struggled this year with overworking. And I say that in a way that's okay. I'm not saying, oh my God, I need help and I'm therapizing through YouTube. This is just me being 26 and trying to live out somewhat of a dream. I never thought that I would have my own space to work this early on. I never thought that I would be able to work with these clients that I truly, truly believe in and can see their brands continuing to flourish. And I put that pressure on myself to continue to deliver for them, for me, for anyone in between, whether it's new or past client. I think that that's the mentality that's led me to this point, which is definitely not crazy success, but it's enough for me to prove myself to me, if that makes sense. The biggest hurdle that I've had to jump over, especially in this creative digital age, has just been myself and not looking at anyone else's journey and getting jealous or understanding that my process is going to be completely different than yours. I feel like I've learned so slowly, and I am now learning to own that. I think as time goes, you start to own things that you might have been insecure about in the past or you wanted to hold back on in conversations. And growing is uncomfy. It's not necessarily intuitive either. And for the longest time, people were like, why don't you just hire? Why don't you do this, do that, do that? And everyone's gonna tell you what you should and shouldn't do. And you have to make that decision for yourself. You're the one that knows how your business runs. You're the one that knows the value that you bring to people, whether it's digital stuff that you do online or whatever it is in your 9-to-5 job. It doesn't really matter. You are the one that knows, and you are the one that has to drive that. for yourself. Over the last month, we are slowly building out the team, and that's been super, super exciting for me. And that's been also a lot more work. In order to understand someone's process, you have to show them. And these videos and these projects that I've put together over the last 2 to 3, 4 years are very personal and not something that you can just give someone a masterclass on in a day. So the growing pains that you have throughout this phase of, for me, it's my mid to late 20s, are just a little bit confusing at times. And I made a promise to myself, specifically through YouTube and through making personal content online, that I would be as real as possible. Even if it makes me cringe, even if it's like, oh, why am I putting on a mic and talking to the camera and therapizing on YouTube? I want you guys to understand that I'm figuring it out. And as much as I love to make educational, fun style videos about filmmaking and documentaries, I am an open book, and I work day and night to make sure that these things continue to happen. It's not easy at all, and I would never trade it for anything in the world. I would never, ever once think twice about what I'm doing right now, but I also want to not have to justify my own feelings all the time. And that's something that I'm constantly catching myself in, especially when it comes to work ethic, output, and making sure that that standard is continued to be met. And that sometimes can throw you for a loop. So I say all of this because you might find yourself in a similar position, or, you know, something in your life that is extremely exciting and you're almost overly romantic about, but it can also be at times crippling, super overwhelming, and very, very stressful. Before all of this was a business and a way to make a living, this was just something I did for fun, which is crazy. And I have worked myself into this role where it's becoming a great business, and I'm finding my lane for how I work with brands and how I work with people. The momentum that you feel is so, so exciting, and the ability and the pressure that you put on yourself to deliver is what can make you great. So I never want to lose that, but I also don't want that to be a vehicle that can hinder my creativity and hinder my day-to-day mental well-being. So yeah, as you can tell, my head's a little all over the place, but I just want you guys to know that what you see on the internet is truly not what you get IRL, and the day-to-day monotony and work ethic, mental capacity it takes to do specialized things. And I say that from a place of extreme privilege. Like, I can't believe this is my life, and I can't believe this is my job. It can take a lot out of you. It can take a lot out of the people around you. You have to sacrifice a lot in order to make these things happen that, weren't a thing 5 years ago. I couldn't have told my high school counselor that I wanted to make a social media based brand and work with different brands and have a production studio that makes videos for other people's Instagrams and websites. That was a thing, but it wasn't the business that it is now. And I thought this would also just be cathartic to get this out of my system. And as I'm trying to be more consistent on YouTube, I'm also trying to be more consistent with how I deliver my stories and messages. And throughout those stories and messages, the through line should always be that it's real. And with all these new resources that we have with AI and big teams putting out multiple projects in a week, and I'm a 1 to 2 man band here, so it's gonna be authenticity, and it's gonna be the craft and everything else that helps us continue to build our studio and brand of videos that we are really, really excited to put out. So, got about 45 seconds left. No clue if any of that stuff that just came out of my mouth was at all making sense, but I just also want to say thank you. The growth on YouTube over the last 2 to 3 months has been crazy. And I want to continue to give you guys an insight of everything that we're working on, from campaigns to documentaries to products to BTS, working with brands. There's so much to be done, and sometimes I'm just fighting time, and that's okay. It's okay to fight time. I want things to age well, and I never want to rush, even in this day and age where output seems to be... That's my cue. Love you guys. Create more. Take it easy. Be easy on yourself. Hopefully I listen to myself. And I'll see you in the next one.